Well, good evening. I think we're live. Lauren, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound great, Nate. Can you hear me okay?
I can. Great.
Awesome.
Great to see you.
Can you hear me?
We can, Mr. Cannon. We hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
This is great. We're so excited that each of you have joined us tonight. If you are just joining us, I've already seen a lot of activity in the chat. Go ahead and stick in the chat where you are this evening. We'd love to be able to see where you are. You know, I'm here in Central Florida, just outside of Orlando, as I commonly am, if I'm not traveling at least. And it has actually been too cold for me, Lauren. It got into the 50s last night.
Oh,
that's way too cold. The 60s are cold enough, but the 50s I can't. So it's supposed to be in the 80s, I think, again by Monday. So
you all will learn very quickly that Nate is a big baby when it comes to weather. He doesn't like anything in the 60s. He's a 70s and above guy. So
that's right.
Anyways, let's see who is the coldest right now. What temperature is it where you live? We would love to find out who is the coldest right now in the United States. I think here in North Dallas, where I live, it is 54 degrees.
Well, there's some Washington State folks in here. There's some New York State in here. So they're probably pretty cold this evening. New Jersey.
40. Okay. You're colder than Texas. Anybody else? Oh, 45. We got a 40, a 45. Okay, we're hitting the 40s. Anybody colder than the 40s? 53. That's what we call temperate, Nate.
I bet it's cold in Iowa tonight.
It's not too bad tonight. It's about probably 50 degrees. Yesterday it was 20.
Oh, 20. No.
If we have anybody from North Dakota, they're cringing right about now. And, you know, Alaska, we've got leaders. We've got sidewalk advocates who are going out to the sidewalk in Alaska.
Casper, Wyoming, it's 12 degrees. They beat us. 12 degrees.
Wyoming wins so far. 33 in Northeast PA. Got another 39. 50 in Omaha. Okay. We're temperate. We're temperate, Nate.
I thought I saw somebody that was at 9 degrees.
Oh, wow. Let's see.
Maybe we missed that. Yeah. Anybody colder than 12? 9 degrees on Saturday. Okay. So that was Casper, Wyoming. They take the cake right now.
Wow.
So, yeah. Look at that. Well, it's so exciting to see so many of you from all over the United States, from Nebraska to Michigan to Wyoming to North Carolina to Utah, Texas, Florida. Love it. Oh, I was just in Naples, Florida. I see a Naples attendee here. Just gave a 75-person in-person training in Southwest Florida. That was a real joy. They're going to be covering the Naples Planned Parenthood, the Fort Myers Planned Parenthood. So thankful for all of you who attended. Lynn Marie, I don't know if we got a chance to meet. If we did, and I met a lot of people that day. It was a joy to meet you. Thank you for your witness. Thanks for being with us. We got somebody from Indiana, Missouri. Our Kathy from Missouri. Look at that. Awesome. So good. Well, we're going to have hundreds of people on the line with us tonight or listening to the recording afterwards. And keep in mind, you want to stay to the very end of the webcast, because what happens at the end of the webcast, Nate?
Yeah, we are doing something that is so amazing. We are giving away a trip to Hawaii at the very end of the webcast. So if you stay, you could be the lucky winner as we draw that winning name, but you do have to be here to win. So make sure you stay around.
That's right.
I want to know if my name is in that bucket.
I don't know if you're allowed to win.
I don't know. I think we said staff couldn't, so at least we can't win. But Mr. Cannon, you should win, so maybe you're allowed.
I know. If anybody deserves a 4-night stay in Kailua Kona, Hawaii, it's you. So we are so grateful because, you know, we pay you the big bucks around here, right? Oh, my goodness. So good. Well, we got a lot of people have logged on. What do you think, Nate? You think it's about time to get started?
Yeah, I think so. Sounds great.
Okay.
You ready to go?
Let's go.
Okay. Well, good evening again, and welcome to How to Win the Battle for Life, a peaceful, prayerful outreach versus the weaponized DOJ, sponsored by Sidewalk Advocates for Life. Thank you for making time to learn about the challenges facing pro-life outreach, how a peaceful approach can facilitate the miraculous, and how you can be a part of ending abortion in the new Dobbs era. I'm Nate Robertson, Vice President of Sidewalk Advocates for Life. I'm so excited to be your MC for our time together this evening. Last month, Sidewalk Advocates for Life hosted the annual National Sidewalk Advocacy Conference, and it was a record breaker. With sold-out attendance and more than 50 organizations sponsoring and exhibiting at the event, we drew people from literally all across the nation, from Hawaii to Florida, from Alaska to Puerto Rico, for fellowship, faith sharing, training, and troubleshooting. The goal was to encourage and empower sidewalk advocates and others in the pregnancy help movement to continue reaching out to pregnant moms who are turning to facilities that perform and refer for abortion. In short, it was an incredible weekend. We've heard from so many attendees that they felt refreshed and reinvigorated to continue their work on the sidewalk and beyond, and take it really to a new life-saving level. But we didn't want to just stop there. We realized it was time to shout from the rooftops that sidewalk advocacy is needed now more than ever. Sidewalk advocates' peaceful, prayerful, law-abiding approach continues to get results and evade prosecution under the FACE Act. In fact, our latest stats, which just came out today, show that sidewalk advocates have now connected with 21,465 women and helped save the lives of 21,465 preborn babies. It's a miracle we are so thrilled to share with you, along with the 87 abortion workers who have left the industry, thanks to the intercession of sidewalk advocates, and now the more than 50 abortion facilities that have closed all across the nation. But truly, our work is far from done. The Dobbs decision has not ended abortion in our nation. It has only changed the way the abortion industry operates. There are states that have banned or greatly restricted abortion, but for the women who live there, abortion is still very real. They can simply obtain a referral to go to an abortion facility out of state. Then there are state leaders so supportive of abortion that they are encouraging abortion tourism to their states up until birth. And of course, there's an ever fluctuating number of pending lawsuits as the abortion industry tries to fight pro-life legislation in various states. So abortionists can profit from ending more lives in more places. The peaceful, prayerful, loving outreach of sidewalk advocates is desperately needed in all of these communities to provide life-affirming local resources to women in crisis and to make abortion unthinkable, one woman, one family, one life at a time. As we go out to the sidewalk to serve as the hands and feet of Christ, though we are no longer simply facing down the abortion industry, the fact is we are facing down a rabidly pro-abortion administration and a Department of Justice that is weaponized and ready to deploy a full-on attack against the First Amendment rights of pro-life people and organizations, while woefully ignoring vandalism and violence against pregnancy help organizations and volunteers. But we do not back down in the face of these attacks, and we do not despair. In fact, we have incredible news to share with you tonight. Despite the efforts of the administration and a weaponized DOJ, peaceful sidewalk advocacy is winning the battle for life. Here are the three things that we're going to cover tonight. Number one, how to protect women and their children from the scourge of abortion while protecting yourself. Two, how to persuasively share the pro-life message and impact the culture and government. And three, how you can help save lives and end abortion. And you'll want to stay to the very end of the hour because we're making a huge announcement, an opportunity you'll be given to save lives and counter the abortion industry like never before. Plus, as our gift to you, we'll be drawing the name of the winner of our special giveaway, a fantastic stay in Hawaii. And just a reminder that the winner must be present at the time of the drawing. So be sure to stay with us until the end, as you may be our winner tonight. I know you guys are excited. I'm excited to see who wins tonight. To facilitate this incredibly important discussion this evening, we have with us Martin Cannon, Senior Counsel of the Thomas More Society, Dina Espenscheid, Director of Pro-Life Programs at the Leadership Institute, and Lauren Musica, President and CEO of Sidewalk Advocates for Life, the largest pro-life sidewalk outreach organization in America. Plus, we have a very special message from the woman who led the team that overturned Roe v. Wade, Mississippi Attorney General Lynn Fitch. Give us this hour and we'll give you the vital information you need to realize the dream of an abortion-free America. With that in mind, let's kick off things the right way with a word of prayer, if you'll pray with me. Dear Lord, we're so grateful to be here tonight. We're so grateful to be called by you and to be able to be here to have this conversation about what it looks like as we move forward in the Dobbs era and how we continue to win on the sidewalks and beyond. God, I'm so grateful for our guests tonight. I'm so grateful for all of those who have joined us. May we continue to be your hands and feet across America as we reach out to men and women in need and we continue to move the message of life further into our culture. We're so grateful to be with all of our folks tonight, and we're so grateful for what you have done, the miracles you've done, that you are doing, and you'll continue to do. We will continue to give you all the glory, the honor, and the praise. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Nate. I was coming back to the camera here in a hot second. I just want to jump in and say thank you, Nate, so much for emceeing this event tonight. And thank you to all of you who have joined us, who have given us a part of your precious evening, because you love life. You love preborn children. You love their mothers. You love the promise of family and the kingdom. And so, again, I just want to be among the first to welcome all of you to this webcast, which will arm you with the information that you need to stay safe on the sidewalk as together we work to save lives and to end abortion in this great country. But first,
Lauren, I'm sorry. Can you turn your video back on? I do.
I am so sorry. I'm back. Okay. So again, I just want to thank all of you for being with us this evening. And I wanted to take just another minute to introduce Sidewalk Advocates for Life, the organization that's hosting tonight's event. So in short, we are the nation's largest sidewalk outreach organization. We train, equip, and support people like you who have a heart to go to the darkest place in their community, the local abortion or abortion referral facility, and offer those loving, life-affirming alternatives. And as people like you have stood up and shown up, have advocated and educated, we have grown to nearly 270 locations covering the full abortion landscape in the United States. Among our thousands of volunteers, we have teams based in states where abortion is banned. Yes, the abortion industry is still on the ground in the form of these abortion referral facilities, right? So our advocates in abortion restricted states are outside these facilities trying to connect with women before they're tempted to head out of state to the next nearest abortion facility. We have teams serving where abortion is a free-for-all. It is abortion tourism, so to speak, these abortion destinations, right? Where now we see borders lined with abortion facilities or women going to specific huge cities, right? That may be their next nearest abortion facility. And we've got everything in between. And from teams serving in all of these different scenarios, whether at an abortion referral center, an abortion facility, even going out into the proverbial town square to serve if they no longer have either one of these facilities to still be the hands and feet of Jesus. We're receiving regular victory stories every single week, stories of just powerful connection made with pregnant moms, stories of women and families choosing life, stories of sidewalk advocates being invited to baby showers or becoming godparents to the children that they helped to save by God's grace, right? And as Nate said, we give God all the glory. We've seen more than 21,000 women choose life for their precious preborn children, 87 eternal souls who have left the abortion business with the help and witness of a sidewalk advocate. And just today, we found out about 2 more facilities that have closed their doors for good following a Sidewalk Advocates for Life outreach presence. That number is now at 53 abortion or abortion referral facilities that have closed their doors for good, thanks to the power of prayer and peaceful outreach and people like you standing up and showing up. And again, these miracles, and this may be miraculous in and of itself, right, are happening without fear of violating the FACE Act, running afoul of the law, or wrongful prosecution. It's not to say that we don't need to stay aware of this and aware of this risk, but we're taking an approach that seems to be getting around a lot of this mess. And we're grateful for that. We're going to be sharing some insights tonight. Again, to God be the glory for all that he's doing through his abundant grace. We're seeing how peaceful, prayerful, law-abiding sidewalk outreach is leading to victory every single day, rescuing the beautiful gift of life every single day. You know, our sidewalk advocates sign a pledge to be peaceful, prayerful, loving, law-abiding. We call it the Pledge of Integrity. They say that they're going to, again, take an approach that's above reproach. We ensure our teams understand their First Amendment rights. They know where the public right-of-way is outside these facilities, and we inform and train them to calmly and respectfully respond to hostilities on the sidewalk, to de-escalate situations, right? And how to navigate wrongful accusations of law breaking. To top it all off, we are incredibly fortunate to have in partnership with us, and again, we just don't know what we do without them, the Thomas More Society. They are one of the biggest reasons that we have been able to navigate all of this successfully, that we've been able to stay on the sidewalk, that we have been able to navigate wrongful accusations. They provide pro bono legal services to our sidewalk advocates and pro-lifers at large. And that helps ensure that our advocates are trained and prepared to lawfully exercise their rights. So I am so privileged tonight to be able to kick off our first interview with Martin Cannon. He's the senior counsel at the Thomas More Society, an incredible supporter of our program, here to speak with us further about pro-life outreach in the Dobbs era, the era of a weaponized DOJ. Mr. Cannon, thank you so much for being with us this evening.
It's a pleasure.
So good to have you. All right, well, let's get to it. You know, again, I can't express often enough how thankful we are to be able to count on the Thomas More Society when we need that legal advice or that support. I know you work with organizations and individuals all across the country. When you look at the people who have been accused of violating the FACE Act, what do those situations have in common?
Well, actually, they probably have two things that are most in common. I've had involvement, or the Thomas More Society's had involvement with 7 FACE cases so far. All of them have gone to trial. In Father Westland's case, the key issue really was that the prosecution witnesses certainly simply made stuff up and told lies. That's actually not the common thing. The more common things are twofold. In the Ken Scott case, in the Greep case, and in the Hout case, the prosecution took little facts that had happened and turned them into things that they weren't. In fact, really not even close. You take a little kernel of truth and blow it up into something it isn't in order to argue that there's a FACE violation. So that's one thing. Basically stretching the facts terribly out of proportion. In 3 other cases, the Handy case that we just tried in D.C., the Tennessee case, and the Michigan case, those 2 haven't been tried yet. We have what I would just call overcharging. I'll talk more about the Handy case because we've already tried it, but the Tennessee and Michigan cases may be similar. In the Handy case, you had 10 people go into a clinic, very peaceful people, actually. 2 of them arguably blocked the clinic. The other 8 were sitting there peacefully in chairs, not blocking anything, not threatening anybody, not forcing anything, just sitting there. Instead of charging 2 people with FACE and 8 people with trespass, they decided to charge all of them with conspiracy. The conspiracy charge is their way to get people who didn't violate FACE convicted of it anyway. And that's a big darn deal. That's a strategy the DOJ has taken to wrap up as many people in this as they possibly can. They're not content to just let trespassers be charged with trespassing. They have to make kind of an announcement to the world that we're going to overdo this. and you guys are all in danger and all that. Now, on occasion, and I think it matters to most of your listeners, occasionally there's just some blowhard on the sidewalk that says you're violating face. That person usually doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't have the backing of law enforcement, and I don't want your people being afraid of a face charge just because some guy on the sidewalk starts blathering about it. The government is fairly quiet in the run-up to these things, you know, as Mr. Houck found out, as Handy's found out, as Creeps found out. They do their work quietly, and they don't announce it. So probably two things to take from it. The common things are they stretch the facts and they overcharge. What that means for your listeners is, and I don't want to scare them because there's another side of the story, but what it means for them is you can be on the sidewalk and be a pretty long way from violating face and get charged with it anyway. Now, having said that, sidewalk advocates are the least likely people in the sidewalk industry to get charged that way. And very nicely also, the sidewalk advocates don't have warts. A lot of people can be doing questionable things and get charged with face. They may be innocent of it, but they kind of create a situation where they're harder to defend because they do other things that people might not like. You guys don't do that. So if you guys are going to get charged with face, you're going to get charged with face in the most winnable for us way imaginable. Okay. You know, the Houck case, was kind of a face case you can't lose. I mean, the stretching of the facts in that case was so bad. It was embarrassing. The DOJ should have been embarrassed. They lost that thing. We won that running away. If it were a sidewalk advocates case, it would be even more winnable than that. So yes, you can be a long ways from violating face and still get charged, but don't lose any sleep over it.
I really like that. I want everybody to hear that, you know, because we adhere to this particular set of values, it makes your job easier, Mr. Cannon, when you're in court, for sure. Right. But, you know, I've kind of told people, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Cannon, that what the FBI DOJ is looking for right now is the +1, right? Like if we're, you know, doing this outreach, if we're praying within the confines of our First Amendment rights, if we're on the public right of way, peacefully handing out literature, peacefully initiating conversation, we really don't have a whole lot to worry about. In other words, you're saying, hey, don't lose sleep over it, right? And so, you know, let me ask you this. When you take all of that into account, what is your top tip for steering clear of legal challenges pertaining to the FACE Act? What advice do you have for everyone on the line who does go to these facilities and, you know, might be losing a little bit of sleep over this?
I would probably say, first of all, you've got a mission and you need to do it. So don't be so risk averse that you undermine your effectiveness. The things I'm going to tell you not to do here are things that you have every right to do. But just because you have a right to do something doesn't mean you have to do it. Okay. Don't do things that give them low hanging fruit. So probably this, the FACE Act prohibits the use of force, threat, or obstruction to injure, intimidate, or interfere with somebody because he or she is seeking or providing reproductive health services. Force, threat, or obstruction to injure, intimidate, or interfere. Obviously, sidewalk advocates don't come anywhere near that, but that's what the statute says. Case law, since the statute's enactment, has, of course, broadened those terms out to where they cover things that simply aren't contemplated by the black and white language of the statute. And that's where you can get into a little more of a gray area. So what I would say is, and this isn't in any particular order, it's just because to me it's the order in which you would engage with a woman. Starting with when you're just out there on the sidewalk making statements to women coming to the clinic or possibly escorts. Don't make statements that can be arguably treated as threats. Sometimes people, especially religious people, want to convey a message to folks on the sidewalk that you can die at any time. You know, you need to be thinking about these things for the salvation of your soul. Well, that sounds like a threat. If you say, we're praying for you, that's a threat. I swear they will take it as a threat.
Really? Wow. Yeah.
Because if you're praying for them, it's actually because you want them to die. I'm not making this up. We've seen this over and over. One case, kind of interestingly, one of our people was wanting the lady to understand that these escorts are all about getting her into the clinic. Of course, that's because they want, the money comes from getting the woman into the clinic. But when they've got their money and she's had her abortion and they send her out the door, they're not going to be there for her. It's a pretty good argument. But when you say these people aren't going to be here for you when you come out, it sounds threatening. In other words, we're going to be all over you when you come out. So you kind of have to think your way through some of this stuff and don't make statements that are clumsy. That'd be number one. Number two, if a person plainly does not want to talk to you, you might throw a Hail Mary pass or two in there, but stop talking to them. Now, that's not really a face issue. It's more of a harassment issue. Everybody on the public sidewalk in America has really a duty to put up with messages they don't feel like hearing, up to a point. And local harassment statutes will get you into trouble when your communications have lost all sense of legitimacy or productivity. So if it's just obvious that this is a loser, just back off. Maybe the most important one possibly is don't get between a person and the door to the clinic. Now, you can be walking alongside, walk behind them. You can even be turned around facing them and walking backwards yourself. But don't do it on that line that the lady has to take between wherever she is and the clinic. They will turn that into physical obstruction. Usually you don't have to do it. And that includes if you're talking to them. Let's say she stops on the sidewalk to talk to you. You're having a 20-minute conversation. Don't be standing between her and the clinic. It's on video. They will argue that you're blocking her path. With respect to cars, don't lean into them. Don't lean on them. You get a person to stop and roll down the window. You have a friendly conversation. It's very natural for us to lean on the ledge of the door or on the doorpost or whatever. Maybe put your hand up on the roof of the car. These are very natural things. You have every right to do them. Just don't. It gives them too much to talk about how we're keeping the car from moving forward or we're, intimidating the woman or whatever. If you need to hand a pamphlet through the window to the person, obviously you have every right to do that. Only do it if they're looking half interested in taking it. And if it's at all possible, see if they'll reach out the window to take the pamphlet. They don't have to reach out very far out. It'd just be nice if the FBI video that's up on the telephone pole catches a glimpse of their hand showing up to take the pamphlet. So we don't get accused of just kind of forcing our pamphlets in there by reaching in the window and just dumping them on their laps. You want to show some kind of engagement by the person. So don't lean into cars. And we've had them actually accuse us of literally leaning in through the window. Of course, it doesn't happen, but they'll say that. And the reaching in with your arm maybe gives them something to talk about there. You can do it if you have to, but try to minimize it. So don't lean into cars, don't lean on cars, and don't reach in with a pamphlet if there's any way to get the person to reach out instead. And even if you can get them to reach a little bit up, just up from their steering wheel to take it, something that involves their own activity. So that's probably it for right now.
Yeah.
Watch your no questionable statements. Don't keep talking to somebody who just obviously doesn't want you to. Do not get in between a person and the clinic door, and don't lean into or onto cars.
Yeah. And what I really hear in that is just use some common sense, personal boundaries. You're interacting with a stranger. We're not playing linebackers in front of we're not dancing in the middle of the driveway and preventing cars from going in. We're not dancing in front of the door of the abortion facility and playing linebacker, right? We're using some common sense. We're wanting to be winsome out there. We're wanting to win life-saving conversations. We're wanting to attract people into conversation. Sure. And I love that you said, go ahead and take a couple Hail Mary passes. Someone comes out that second and fourth time. Sure, we'll try again. Hey there, did you get our information? Did you hear about all of our wonderful help at the Pregnancy Resource Center next door, down the road at our Women's Center, right? So we go ahead and we stay, bold from the perspective of, we're going to try again. We're going to invite, we're going to, pray for every opportunity in the spirit to get this life-saving information in front of somebody, but we're also not going to be silly and haphazard about it. We're not going to go into car windows. We're not going to be leaning on someone's, personal property. And those things will go a long way to protecting us. That's really what I hear you saying. Last question, Mr. Cannon. Again, this has been really good, helpful, eye-opening, practical advice for everyone this evening. You mentioned the Mark Houck case. And for those who are not familiar with it, Mark is a sidewalk counselor up in Philadelphia. He would frequently go to the abortion facility to pray and to reach out to women who are going in, offering them life-affirming alternatives. He often had one of his children with him. 12, 13-year-old son was with them one day on the sidewalk. They were way down the sidewalk away from the entrance of the facility, and an abortion center escort decided to verbally accost his son. Of course, he got in there and gave the man kind of a piece of his mind, lightly shoved him, right? And then all of a sudden he wakes up one day and he's got, over 25 federal agents on his doorstep. They arrest him in front of his wife and his children. And this is early hours of the morning, right? And then he ended up being indicted for 2 alleged violations of the FACE Act. And thanks be to God, common sense prevailed, and he was acquitted of both charges earlier this year. Mr. Cannon, many people are saying that this terrible situation exemplifies the weaponization of the Department of Justice. What would you say to that?
Well, it actually really does.
Yeah.
And when it comes to disputed facts, I think it's amusing. I had not thought of something until you just mentioned the 25 federal agents. Shortly after this thing happened, Mrs. Houck was, on the radio or something, or gave a statement to somebody that got to the FBI. She said there were 25 FBI agents, storming into my house from every direction. The only response the FBI had to that was, no, it was only 20.
Oh, isn't that nice of them?
To a woman with a bunch of kids getting ready for school and FBI agents everywhere, what's the difference between 20 and 25? You just can't tell. But anyway, there really is this weaponization thing. In fairness to the FBI, you have to understand that they are trained to stay ahead of the person they're engaged with on the continuum of violence. You don't want one of these situations where one person gets a little violent, the other one reacts, and then the other one reacts a little more. And, that kind of escalates into bigger things than it has to. So what law enforcement are trained to do is to jump out ahead and use overwhelming force when it's still a surprise to the guy and, get them under control, get them cuffed, get them on the ground, whatever it is. And that's fairly common sense, actually. The problem is, and so because of that, the law enforcement, in this case, the FBI, will always have available at the moment more force and more firepower than they expect from the other guy. But that's the key idea. Expect. When they don't and can't reasonably expect any violence from the other guy, what are they doing? And that was the case here. So it was just totally overblown, and there was not a basis for what they did. The second thing about that is that our other attorney, Matt Heffron, is a former federal prosecutor. He's worked with the DOJ. He had a career in it. He worked with the FBI. It's very common when you are aware that they're looking at your guy and thinking of arresting him. And we were aware of that because Mr. Houck had received a letter from the FBI or the DOJ telling him that he was a person of interest in this investigation. He, of course, promptly gave that to us. We, Matt Heffron, wrote to the DOJ saying, we represent Mr. Houck. We know the facts of the case. We don't think your case is any good, but if you want to arrest him, if you want to charge him, let us know, and we will bring him in to you. This is done 96% of the time. It's very common. When you've got a reputable lawyer in communication with the prosecution, this is how it is done. They had previously responded to Mr. Heffron's communications, but when he sent them that one, they responded not at all. And a week later, they did this thing to Mr. Houck. So the vast majority of cases like this would not have been handled this way. So you ask me if there's weaponization of the DOJ, you tell me. I don't think there's any way to argue that it isn't.
Yeah.
I think that started when they saw that Dobbs was on borrowed time, and they see that Biden has practically no way of getting reelected. They starting brush fires everywhere and putting down tent stakes and trying to gain credibility with the pro-abortion base that the Democrats have. And that's what
interesting. Really good perspective. Yeah. I'm so excited that we could bring you on tonight to really kind of, take a peek behind the veil of the legal ground game. And so we're just so grateful to all of you at Thomas More Society for all that you do to help pro-life people, organizations preserve their rights and to stay safe. And again, it's just so important for everyone across the pro-life movement to continue the great mission that's before them, converting hearts, saving lives. And again, we're so thankful that you're there to keep us safe in that mission. So huge thanks to you, Mr. Cannon, and all of you at Thomas More Society. I want to go ahead and at this time bring back in Nate and get his insights as he gets ready to tee up the culture portion of our event tonight. So we've had law, we're going to address culture, and then we're going to go into our big announcements. But Nate, any thoughts that you want to share before we bring on Dina?
I just think it's just so hilarious. Again, we talk about is the DOJ weaponized or not? Well, I mean, I think Mr. Cannon made it very clear. Them not being willing to cooperate with attorneys who are willing to bring Mr. Houck in, wanting to show up with this force. The way in which they portray themselves shows that there is this weaponization. I couldn't be more grateful for Martin Cannon and all of Thomas More. I think Martin and I have been on the phone more in the last 2 weeks than we had probably in the last 3 or 4 months. So thank you for putting up with us. Thank you for keeping us safe. Thank you for making sure that we can continue to help our great volunteers know that they are safe, that they are protected, that they can continue to do what they are doing, because what they're doing is law-abiding, it is legal, it is peaceful, and it is very defensible. So thanks, Mr. Cannon.
That's very much a pleasure. I'm going to have to bug out right now, so you can take my name out of your drawing. And when you do draw my name, go ahead and throw it away and let somebody who's present to win get the Hawaii trip.
There you go. Yeah.
I love it. Thanks, right. Mr. Cannon. Have a great evening.
Bye-bye.
Well, that truly was incredible. We are so thankful for the Thomas More Society, so thankful for all that they do for us. And I'm hearing some feedback. I'm not sure from where right now, but that's okay. We will continue on. The Thomas More Society does such a great job of making sure to keep pro-life people safe and exercising their First Amendment rights. Now we're going to shift gears just a little bit. For this next segment, I'm so pleased to introduce Dina Espenscheid from the Leadership Institute. The Leadership Institute is an amazing organization that provides training and guidance for individuals who think like we do on life and family issues, supporting them as they work to influence policy through direct participation, activism, and leadership. Dina, thank you so much for being here. I just love having you around. So thank you for being with us tonight.
I am absolutely. It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you so very much for inviting me on.
Yeah, of course. Dina, we've been speaking about the weaponization of the DOJ, and it's something that you and I know is going on. And the fact that our own administration is actively working against pro-life individuals and organizations. Sometimes it seems so difficult to communicate the pro-life position, especially when it feels like we are greatly outnumbered or our comments could be met with an angry reaction, right? So what would you suggest to pro-life people who have been hesitant to voice their stance on abortion?
I would encourage you that now is the time to speak out. A lot of times people are silent. I've been door knocking in Ohio right now because Ohio has got an election in 5 days to decide whether or not they're going to allow abortion through all 9 months of pregnancy or keep it the status quo and keep parental rights in place. It is a heinous amendment. And so often I'll be and earlier today, I was in a neighborhood with 3 or 4 yes signs and 1 no sign. And every door I knocked on, there were no, I'm not voting. No. And no is the good side, by the way. We want a no vote on this election. By the way, Leadership Institute's a 501c3 nonpartisan nonprofit. They don't endorse political parties or pieces of legislation. I am endorsing a no vote in Ohio. And then I would ask these people, do you want a yard sign? And most of them said, no, I don't want to get into, I just want to keep peace in the neighborhood. I had one brave woman goes, yes, put that in. It was great because she was on a corner and I was like, thank you so very much for being willing to speak up. And I keep saying, make sure you're talking to your neighbors and your friends and your family. And somebody said, oh, well, we don't really talk about abortion among our friends and family. Well, why not? This is one of the preeminent causes of the degradation of society right now. One of the doors I knocked on was a woman who had just come from court where her grandson's killer was being arraigned. And her solution to the problem was gun control. My solution to the problem is bring back a respect for life. And if we don't respect babies at the youngest level, and if we don't respect that abortion is harming women and destroying families, how do we build back society? Now is the time to speak up. Now is the time to be bold. That's not what I was planning on saying, but Nate, that's the answer you got tonight.
No, I think it's so right, though, right? Like we are in a moment in time where we can't keep being silent in so many issues, and especially on this issue. We have to be talking about the issues so that those conversations can be open. We talk a lot about this, opening minds and converting hearts on the sidewalk, right? From our perspective. And of course, reaching that pregnant mom is absolutely key. It's what we're there to do. But we really need to spread the pro-life message so much farther than that, right? So all of society can understand the intrinsic value of every human life, even as you were just mentioning. At any and every stage of development, that human life is valuable. So how can we share our message when it seems like so many are not open to hearing it?
Well, I think the sidewalk advocates, you guys are onto something with your focus of mom, baby, God. And so often as pro-lifers, when we go out into the world and we start talking to other people, we put God first or baby first, and we forget about mom. As I've been door knocking on this issue, we've been talking about the things that matter to the voters. And when people go to vote, they want to know, how does this affect the people I can touch? How does it affect my wife, my girlfriend, my daughter, my sister, my niece, my best friend, my best friend's daughter? Or if it's about a parental rights thing, and so many of these amendments really come down to a parental rights issue, how does this affect my family? And so when you talk about how abortion impacts women first, then you're taking away the idea that Planned Parenthood is there to care, because the abortionists are not caring. And so I want you to focus on, number one, talk about the woman first, or talk about how abortion hurts families first. Number two, I want you to talk about fairness, caring, and liberty. Abortion is not fair to the woman. Just look at the Britney Spears episode. She just released a book, and in that book, she talks about how I believe it's her manager and her boyfriend, Justin Timberlake, pressured her and coerced her into having an abortion of a baby that she wanted, because she always thought she would be with him forever. And they forced her into this. And not only that, but they made her hide it by taking the pills. And how painful, she writes in very great detail how painful that was. Share that story, how this is not fair to her, that she had to deal with that, and he got to go off and run around with other women and leave her high and dry. And look at the impact that had on her. She was followed very quickly by a mental collapse. Talk about caring, how the abortionists don't care. I've got surveys and studies, and I can show you how the abortionist will do 5, 10, 20 abortions on women who are being sex trafficked and won't do anything to rescue them from the sex trafficking. That is not caring. And then talk about liberty, how how women are having their rights taken from them because they're being forced and coerced into abortion. And so when you focus on that and when you tell stories, it is almost impossible for pro-abortion people to come back and say, well, you don't care about women, or you only care about the baby. No, I've just demonstrated I care more about the baby. And that is actually what changes hearts and minds and culture, when we show that we care about everyone, not just the baby, but the women and the men and the families involved in this decision as well.
Wow, Dina, it's so powerful. I've heard you say some of that before, but it's just so powerful and so true about how when we really frame it with the compassion that Jesus has towards all of us, when we frame it with the reality of how it affects people, it does open the narrative in a way that, like you said, they can't really speak against it. They can't say, well, you don't care, because you just laid out how much you do care. So thank you, Dina, for that. You know, the last couple presidential elections have made it really clear how important it is to vote pro-life first, voting to protect preborn babies and fight the abortion industry. How can we carry over our pro-life views to the voting booth? How can we lovingly share our perspective with other voters who may have different feelings about abortion?
Well, the number one thing is you have to get registered and you have to vote. And I prefer for you to vote early. I know everybody's sitting there going, but they might steal my vote. No, vote early, lock it in, because then campaigners like me can go and find other people to convince to go out and vote. So number one thing is go vote. Number two is find out, do voter registration drives. When Cincinnati Right to Life found out that they were going to have this election coming up, they ran their donor list against the voter registration list, and they found out that 20% of their donors weren't registered to vote, and 40% had not voted in the last few years. So they did a donor voter registration drive. You can do the same thing. There are people in our churches who are not registered to vote. We need to get them registered to vote and then talk to them about why to vote for the pro-life candidates. You can pass out nonpartisan voter guides. Catholic Vote has one. I really focus on the family has one. Priests for Life will have one. There's tons of different voter guides that are out there that will showcase, at least at the federal level, who are the good pro-life candidates that are out there. And for every community, a pro-life candidate might look a little different. I trained a woman at a training where we were talking specifically on how do pro-life candidates answer the difficult questions. And she said, well, I'm for abortion after, like up to 6 months. And everyone was shocked. And they were like, well, you're not pro-life. And I said, describe your opponent. She goes, oh, that woman wants abortion after death or after birth. I don't want infanticide. And I was like, okay, I'd rather have her in the office than her opponent. So we're always trying to make them more and more pro-life. By the time she left my training, by the way, she's like, okay, not after 12 weeks. I'll take that. We're moving her in the correct direction, right? But what we need to do is constantly be educating people, be encouraging them to vote. One of the best things you can do, especially if you get one of these amendments in your state, join the effort to go door knocking and phone calling. And I know people are like, I hate door knocking. You know what the secret is? I hate door knocking too. But I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio right now on my vacation from my actual job so that I could door knock on this campaign for 2 weeks, because it's just that important. For every 16 doors you knock on, you'll get one new vote for your candidate or for your effort. And so I really want to encourage you to get involved in the campaign of your choice and go door knocking, go phone calling, voter registration drives, and just talk to people about the need to go vote.
That's so great. Thanks so much, Dina. It's really fantastic just how you continue to talk about how important it is. It also strikes me how positive you sound when you speak. It seems like you are, pretty sure of the ultimate victory. Of course, sidewalk advocates have to be victory minded too when they go out to the sidewalk, but it's not always easy to maintain a perspective of hope. Any words of inspiration that you'd like to leave us with tonight?
Well, I've read the end of the book. As a matter of fact, yesterday was All Saints Day, and I went to not one but two masses, and I heard the end of the book, so I know who wins. I have so this Ohio campaign is the first time that I've been door knocking on a strict pro-life campaign since 2006, and it has been so encouraging because as we go around and talk to the voters about what's actually in this amendment and how broad the amendment is, they go, I didn't know that. And then we're watching votes switch at the door. And that is amazing when you can actually see people change their minds on the issue right there at the door. So, look, I don't know if we're going to win in Ohio or not, but the fact is that we are changing hearts and minds. They are exposing themselves as being so radical that they're every single day we're turning more people towards the pro-life side. It's making pro-lifers come out of the woodwork. One of the things is sometimes especially when there was a period of time where I was just working in politics and not pro-life politics, and I kept thinking, nobody feels the way that I do. Nobody is pro-life like me. And then I would hear people like Rush Limbaugh start speaking about being pro-life from the moment of, conception. I was like, wow, there's one person. Well, when you get these campaigns and you start participating in these campaigns, you start seeing the signs go up, you start to realize there are other people pro-life like me. I am not alone, and I am not we are the majority. The most people don't want abortion. They just think it's necessary for this reason or that reason. And the more that we can educate them about how it's not necessary, the closer we are to the ultimate victory, to protecting babies from the moment of conception, to protecting women from the horrors of abortion, to making abortion unthinkable so that they won't do it in a facility and they won't do it at home. And so we just have to keep pushing forward. The people that give me the most hope, let me tell you, are the ones on the sidewalk who are saying, I am here to help you. You guys do amazing work. That's not what I'm called to do. I don't have the temperament to do it. God bless you guys for being out there. And thank you so very much, because you give me the hope to keep on going. So thank you.
Thank you, Dina. That was awesome. Thank you so much. So beautiful. Lauren, anything you'd like to add?
I think it was profound. I mean, people are in the comments saying, wow, Dina, that was amazing. And seriously, Dina, like I have been on, oh my gosh, dozens of webcasts by now. And you are easily one of my favorite speakers now. You do give us so much hope. And what I want everybody to hear tonight is that there is a direct relationship here between outreach and the change in law and culture, that it is possible for us to gradually end. And that just as there was a movement in the people that made Roe v. Wade and Casey v. Planned Parenthood possible at one point, there was also a movement in the people that made Dobbs v. Jackson possible. We would love to pretend the judiciary is independent, but there is a direct relationship between law and culture. The courts are a microcosm of the culture. As you and I continue, again, to stand up, show up, advocate, and educate, we have hope to change the game for life. And that's what I hear Dina saying. All of you, do not stop doing what you're doing. Keep showing up, keep speaking, keep giving, keep being a part of the greatest human rights movement on earth. And we are gradually going to win this. Like at the very least, we know the last page of the manual, right? We know who wins in the end. And in the meantime, we're just going to keep fighting because we know lives and souls are on the line and it's worth it. So thank you, Dina. Really appreciate you.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye. Well, thank you, Lauren. Thanks so much for that. Great comments as we get past our interviews tonight. Well, folks, we're on the brink of the huge announcement and the winner of our 4-night Hawaiian stay. As you remember, we promised to draw that at the very end of the webcast, and we're about to make good on that as our gift to you for all of you, all that you do for the ministry and for the kingdom. But first, I'd like to share with you a very special video from one of my heroes, the woman who led the Dobbs v. Jackson legal team that tore down the terrible legacy of Roe versus Wade, Mississippi Attorney General Lynn Fitch.
Hello, I am Mississippi Attorney General Lynn Fitch. Thank you all for supporting the work of the Life Movement with your time, your talents, your treasure, and most importantly, your prayers. Together, we fought for decades and ultimately won the overturn of Roe v. Wade. Years before I went before the court in the Mississippi Dobbs case, we were praying on sidewalks outside abortion centers, marching in our nation's capital, making calls and sending letters to your legislators. You never gave up. You never lost hope. And during those 50 years, we lost far too many lives. But your dedication paid off. And now we live, not under Roe, but in the new Dobbs era, a time when policymaking over abortion has returned to we, the people. Standing before the court in Dobbs, we argued that society could both empower women and promote life. We asked for the job, and the Supreme Court gave us a great opportunity. And now the task now falls to us to ensure our laws reflect the compassion in our hearts before, during, and after pregnancy. In the months following the Mississippi Dobbs decision, I launched the Empowerment Project. This initiative is a first step to achieving our promise to empower women and promote life. As a starting point, the Empowerment Project is focused on 5 pillars: making quality childcare more affordable and accessible, promoting workplace flexibility, enhancing child support enforcement, fixing broken foster care and adoption systems, and empowering pregnant women and new mothers with opportunities to grow, educate, and upskill. In our first year, the Mississippi Legislature adopted several of the Empowerment Project proposals, including providing new tax credits for child care, extending Medicaid coverage for a full year postpartum, streamlining the pathway from foster care to forever homes, and creating the MAMA program. MAMA, or Mississippi Access to Maternal Assistance. It'll be an easy-to-use online resource connecting pregnant women and new mothers with public and private resources available to help them on this journey. Today, I want to issue all of you a call to action. The Empowerment Project is not just for Mississippi. It's my hope that you and others across the nation will join us in this effort. Bring these ideas to your legislators so that your state will also pass new laws that empower women and promote life. With your continued prayers, support, and dedication, I am confident we will show the nation what it means to truly empower women and promote life. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Absolutely incredible. We're so thankful for that special message from Attorney General Lynn Fitch. It's absolutely true that we must continue to work together to protect life and empower women. And I mean, if you didn't get anything else from the webcast tonight, I hope that you all hear from Mr. Cannon, from Dina, from all of us here at Sidewalk Advocates for Life that it's possible. We can save lives. We can close abortion facilities. We've seen it over 50 times. We can end abortion in our communities and without facing legal charges. And this is where you come in, right? What is the Lord calling you to? We know that we need to work together in partnership to ensure that these facilities that women are walking into, that we know that they could be met by a loving sidewalk advocate, by a peaceful, prayerful person who cares about them, desperately reaching out to offer these desperately needed resources and the love of Christ. So in that spirit, Nate, it is time for the huge announcement. And let me go ahead and set it up this way. Just this, as we all know, the reign of Roe has ended, but abortion has not. It's just now been returned to the people. In fact, Sidewalk Advocates for Life is needed more than ever. Peaceful, prayerful outreach is needed more than ever at every one of the 777 abortion and abortion referral facilities in America. Yes, that's how many total facilities there are in our great nation. So whether abortion is legal in a state, illegal, limited, or we are in a back and forth legal battle, we all cannot, as a people of God, stop our mission of serving moms in crisis, saving the lives of preborn children, and ultimately making abortion not only illegal, but unthinkable. That's the ultimate goal, right? And I just want us all to pause for a moment and consider the fact that even when we are successful in seeing an end to abortion state by state by state, women are still going to prospectively find themselves facing an unexpected pregnancy now and then. And they're still going to need us, sidewalk advocates out in the culture, right? Offering those loving, life-affirming alternatives, those resources that support. The idea is that wherever women go, we go, right? As our Lord loved us, he first loved us, we respond in kind, standing in the gap between life and death, providing real help and hope before it's too late. And I really believe that the end of abortion is contingent on us cooperating with God's grace, giving him our yes. And I want to share a quick story with you that just so demonstrates this, right? Thanks to the incredible generosity of a couple of our supporters, we recently hired someone to be a metro coordinator for Los Angeles. Los Angeles is number 2 in the nation for abortion with 78 abortion facilities in the metro area. This new team member, literally, as she hit the ground running, saw this need. She came back to Nate and our programs team. This is Bree. And Bree said, nobody was there. She went to these facilities and nobody was there, right? And again, this particular part of LA, I'm not saying that there might not be some pockets of folks at some different facilities, but the 10 facilities that she went to, there was not a soul outside there for the women who were walking in. Absolutely unbelievable. And in one afternoon on the sidewalk, Bree was able to connect with 7 women and give them a gift bag filled with life-affirming resources. And that same afternoon, because she was having such an effect, Bree and her partner on the sidewalk, an abortion worker came out to try to accuse her of blocking the driveway. How many of us have heard that in this ministry, right? And of course, she was not. She was being law-abiding because she follows the Sidewalk Advocates for Life training that helps protect, that says, hey, we are to serve in the public right of way. We're permitted by law to do so. So she continued her outreach with no difficulty. She was able to reach more women, to reach more families. And now she's getting ready to turn around and offer this training in her very area of Los Angeles. And women and their preborn children will be saved because we know how effective it is when we set up a presence in front of the darkest place in our local communities. So imagine if every single abortion and abortion referral facility in the country, all 777, at least uncovered facilities, imagine if every pregnant woman walking in there knew that she would be met by someone like you, who was well-trained, had resources, and was able to offer her support. I mean, that would be an absolute game changer, devastating the abortion industry. And again, this is where we come in. So Sidewalk Advocates for Life has a pledge to gradually work up to coverage of every facility in the United States year-round, a peaceful, prayerful presence year-round to ensure that nobody walks into one of these facilities without help and hope, options and resources. The only thing that's holding us back from covering all facilities, because we want to hire more of these metro coordinators, cultivate more volunteers, is funding. You know, it takes a lot of time, effort, and relationship building to establish a program location, let alone cover hundreds of facilities. And we're already at 267. We're already at 35% of U.S. facilities. It is possible. We're seeing the effects of, you know, what we've set up, and it's scalable. It's working. It's brilliant. We just need extra support, and then we can get in front of more facilities, right? Annually, it costs us about $2,000 to train, equip, and support a new team of sidewalk advocates, and you better believe it's worth every penny. So here's the big news. Here's the big news tonight. You can help to cover an abortion facility or give something towards coverage of an abortion or abortion referral facility. So a generous group of ministry partners has come together to offer, this has never happened in the history of Sidewalk Advocates for Life, a $437,500 matching fund challenge to keep this mission moving forward. So your generous gift is doubled instantly tonight when you give through December 13th. That's the first deadline, December 13th. So right now, you can go to the offers button. When you click on that, you can click on the make a gift button and remit whatever gift the Lord has put on your heart tonight. Again, 100 becomes $200, 500 becomes $1,000, $2,000 becomes $4,000. So if you make that gift of $2,000 tonight, we will be able to train, equip, and support a new team. And you'll even get an extra team on top of that because every dollar is matched. So again, if you're on a desktop or laptop computer, just note that it will open a separate window. But if you're on a mobile device, it might redirect you to a new window. Don't worry, you can make your gift and hit the back button and you'll be able to rejoin the webcast at that point. Again, we understand that many of you cannot commit to time on the sidewalk, but this opportunity allows you to be part of our mission and helps us to reach more moms, more families, saves more lives, cuts into their bottom line in a greater way, and it gradually pulls business away and ends abortion in that area. And again, even if you can get out to the sidewalk, maybe the Lord has put it on your heart to also become a ministry partner, a financial partner here, helping us to build more teams across the United States to cover more abortion and abortion referral facilities. Again, your gift is going to make a real difference in the lives of moms and babies. And here in just a little bit, we'll go ahead and thank those who have given tonight on the webcast. We'll say your first name, city, and state. We want to thank you here in a minute. We're getting ready to make the drawing for the 4-night Hawaiian stay. Is just our gift to you for being with us this evening and also for considering and how you can be a part of this great work. You can click offers once again, and then the make a gift button to give. Thank you so much for all that you guys have made possible up until this point. 21,400 lives saved, about 5,000 hopeful saves, 87 eternal souls who have left the business with the help and witness of a sidewalk advocate, and 53 abortion and abortion referral facility closures. I mean, if we want an approach that has the potential to devastate the abortion industry, here it is. And it's done through love. It's done through peace. It's done through hope, options, resources, and it's done in a law-abiding manner so that we have a chance to reach every eternal soul who's crossing our path, right? And I just saw in the comments here a little bit ago that one of our leaders, please pray for this, one of our leaders in Nebraska literally had to hop off the line for a little bit. She put the prayer request right in the chat that she's in the midst of hopefully tonight facilitating an abortion pill reversal, a woman who's taken the first pill of the 2-pill chemical abortion regimen. Our sidewalk advocates offering this to women. Now, again, chemical abortion is the most prevalent form of abortion here in the United States. We just had a successful abortion pill reversal in Redding, California, because our sidewalk advocates were there, able to give a mom real hope that this could be possible. Again, can you imagine if we have God's people in front of every single uncovered abortion and abortion referral facility in America? That's the vision that God has given us, but we just need your help to get there. So once again, $437,500 matching fund through December 13th. And then if we need a little extra time, usually our ministry partners will let us, but I'm telling you, we don't want to leave any of this generosity sitting on the table. This is going to advance the ministry as we have never seen before. The largest matching opportunity, the largest matching challenge in our history. Tonight, we want to thank you. If you're able to give tonight, click the offer button and click make a gift button to give. Now, again, we are so grateful for your generous support. As a thank you, we're excited to let you know that if you logged on here to the webcast, if you signed up and you stayed with us through the evening, that we were going to announce a 4-night stay for 2 people at a beautiful home in Kailua Kona, Hawaii. It was donated by one of our wonderful sidewalk advocate leaders. Again, because you're registered to attend, you were entered in the drawing. You do have to be present to win. So as soon as we announce this, you can go ahead and say something in the chat if that's you, or you can go ahead and email me, Lauren@sidewalkadvocates.org. I'm going to be watching my inbox. So we're going to look for confirmation. If we draw a name and you say, hey, that's me, right? We can see that and we confirm that real quickly. Then you're it, and we'll go ahead and get you that information. But if you if that person's not here, then we'll go ahead and move on to the second person, the third person. We're going to make sure that we have a winner live tonight. So Nate, this is so exciting. I know you're ready to go ahead and announce who this person was. We have a randomizer, right?
Yeah, this is so fun. We've never done this before. So I'm ready to hit the button. I'm ready with my randomizer. So are we ready? Lauren, are you ready?
So ready. So ready.
Here we go. Okay, let me see. Okay, the winner is, if they are on the line, the winner is John Piscata. It's Piscita.
John Piscata. I know who that is. John, you want to give us a shout out? You can either email lauren@sidewalkadvocates.org, or you can give us a shout out in the comments. Let's go ahead and wait a minute and see if we're going to go ahead and get confirmation. Hang on the line for a second, because if John does not confirm that he is attending the webcast, because you got to be present to win, right? We're going to move on to the next name. So, but I know who John is, longtime pro-life leader here in Texas. I hope he's here to accept that. He's a beloved professor here in Texas at a major university. He has taken such a valiant stand for life. We're so grateful for him either way. So yes, John with Pro-Life Waco, Texas. So John, we're going to give you another minute here. So everybody hang on the line for just a second, or we'll have to go on to the next person. Let's see if John is with us. He's either going to email me, lauren@sidewalkadvocates.org, or you can give a shout out in the comments. So let's give it another minute before we move on to the next person. And I just want to say real quick, we're already seeing gifts come through here. Thank you all so much for your generosity. Once again, every gift that you make during this campaign is going to help us to cover more abortion facilities. Every $2,000, we're able to train, equip, and support a new team of sidewalk advocates. So don't forget that you can go ahead and go to the offers button, click on that button, and then you're going to click on make a gift, and it will take you to our secure giving site where you can make a life-saving gift of support. We also want to encourage you that, maybe you can't make a special gift tonight, but you can sign up for a monthly gift. That really helps us to support our teams well into the future. So $10, $25, $100, $250 a month. It is a great gift to the ministry to be able to sustain those teams then over the long haul. Really exciting. So, okay, I hear he's emailing. Oh, John is on the phone. Okay, I'm waiting for that email to come through and just make sure that we are good to go. As soon as I get confirmation here that John is going to accept the gift, then oh, here's the thing though. So Jerry, if you are in contact with John, we need to make sure that John was present on the webcast. That is a requirement tonight. So I need John to confirm. John, we need you to confirm that you were present live on the webcast tonight. Right. And otherwise we are going to stand by that, right? Okay, so let's give John another minute to confirm that he was present to win, because that is important. John needs to be present to win the 4-night Hawaiian stay. That was a requirement. We put that out there as kind of terms and conditions, right? So we'll see what happens. But let me go ahead and start thanking people who are giving tonight while we wait to see if John was live on the webinar in order to accept the gift. If not, we're moving on to the next person here. So I want to go ahead and first thank Diane. Oh, and it doesn't tell me the city and state. So let me just do first name and last initial. Diane C. Thank you so much for your gift tonight. Really appreciate you. Jennifer T. Got your gift. Huge blessing. Thank you, Jennifer. That will go a long way towards us starting a new sidewalk outreach team. We've got Ross, who made a gift tonight. Ross S. Thank you, thank you, thank you. He says, to life, L'chaim. I love that. Thank you so much. We've got Annette. Annette M. Thank you, Annette, so much for your life-saving gift tonight. Huge, huge blessing. We've got Lynn. I know Lynn in Florida. Lynn C. Lynn, thank you so much for your generous gift tonight. Again, that's going to go a long way towards helping us to start a new team. Teresa A. Teresa, thank you, thank you, thank you for saying yes. Really appreciate your support. It's a huge blessing. Tara L. Her gift came through. Tara, thank you for joining us in this great mission. Really appreciate all your support. Kim B. made a gift tonight. Kim, thank you for your sacrifice. Really appreciate you as well. We've got Bess W. I know who you are, Bess. One of our beloved leaders, I believe in the Midwest. Thank you so much, Bess. You're out on the sidewalk and you're giving of your precious treasure tonight. It's a great gift. Really, really appreciate that. And then we've got Greg E. Greg, I know who you are. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your support as well. I'd love to thank more people tonight. So feel free to go ahead and click the offers button and then the make a gift button. And we will be able to thank you, hopefully, before we sign off this evening. Let's see here. I have not gotten confirmation that John was with us to win. So I think we're going to have to move on to the next name here. All right. So
sounds good. We ready for the next one?
Let's go for the next name. Here we go.
Okay. Ready. And okay. I have it. The next one is Nikki Snyder. Is Nikki Snyder on the line?
Nikki Snyder. So either Nikki, put a comment in and let us know if you are currently with us. Again, that was terms and conditions. You got to be on the webcast live when the announcement is made. Or you can email lauren@sidewalkadvocates.org. Again, lauren@sidewalkadvocates.org. While we're waiting for Nikki to confirm, we've got another gift that just came through. Let me go ahead and again, we're making sure that you really stay anonymous. I just want to go ahead and at least thank you with your first name, last initial, so you know I'm giving you a shout out. Kelly M., thank you so much for the gift that you just made. A huge, huge blessing. Once again, folks, everything tonight is instantly doubled, right? And will be doubled from tonight through December 13th. That's our first deadline, December 13th. Everything is instantly doubled. A $437,500 matching challenge, a huge gift from ministry partners who want to see this work multiply well into the future. The exciting thing is that every $2,000, we can train, equip, and support a new team of sidewalk advocates. And so we are just so excited for everything that's ahead. We already covered 267 abortion and abortion referral facilities in America. We are so excited to continue to ensure that one day in the very near future, we're dedicated to getting there as soon as possible, as soon as we have the funding, as soon as we have the support, right? We're looking to cover every uncovered abortion and abortion referral facility in America with peaceful, loving, winsome, efficacious sidewalk outreach that's prayerful, again, peaceful, law-abiding, that's moving the needle. That's what we're seeing each and every day. So one of our leaders too, she just kind of put an update about the woman who's considering abortion pill reversal. She said that now it looks like abortion pill reversal information is in her hands. So exciting. Okay.
Nikki is with us either, Lauren. I think we need to go to a third.
Okay. We're going to go to the next name. Let's go ahead and do that. Here we go. Hang on, folks. We're going to go until we've got a winner tonight. 4-night stay in Kailua Kona, Hawaii. You got to hang on the line for this. So, all right. What do we got, Nate?
Hold on. Okay. This one is, man, these last names always get me. Y'all love to do this to me. Noemi is the first name, and the last name is Guerrero or Rrero. Guerrero, is that right?
Guerrero. Okay. Noemi Guerrero. Are you on the line? Give us a shout out in the comments or go ahead and send us an email, lauren@sidewalkadvocates.org. We're going to go a little bit quicker tonight. If we don't hear from you in about 1 minute, we're moving on to the next name. You got to be ready, folks. You got to be ready to accept this. We've got to see acceptance. Hang tight. Yep. And Nate, I'll tell you what, could you lead us in a quick word of prayer as people continue to discern their gift tonight? And also, let's pray over the client who just received abortion pill reversal information in California. Our leader's been a part of that tonight. Thank you so much, Lisa. So let's pray for them. Yeah.
Lord, thank you so much for this incredible time tonight. God, we just thank you again for Martin Cannon and the Thomas More Society and for Dina Aspenscheid and Leadership Institute and all that you're doing through Sidewalk Advocates and all of the pro-life movement who just continue to reach out to women in need and make sure that women can see obstacles to pregnancy being removed from their life when they feel like they're so present. God, we pray for those tonight who are discerning their gift as we start this matching fund campaign over the next couple of weeks. And we're so grateful for this group of donors who's been so generous in making this the largest matching fund challenge of our history. God, I just pray that you would continue to move on hearts and minds as people all across America discern their gift that they would like to make to Sidewalk Advocates for Life here in this year-end giving campaign. God, we pray that hearts would be open and that generosity would be high as people consider how they can further the mission as we continue to cover each and every abortion facility across America. God, we're just so grateful to be called by you. We're so grateful for what you have done. We're so grateful that it is because of generous ministry partners like these tonight that we've been able to do what we've been able to do in the 9.5 years. So God, we just give you the glory, the honor, and the praise. We'll continue to just trust you and expect you as you continue to lead our hearts. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Nate. Okay. Looks like we need another name, Nate, don't we? And I'm going to thank some more folks here who have given. Once again, if you want to make your gift, I want to thank you before we sign off tonight. You can click offers and then make a gift. And your gift is instantly doubled tonight. Nate, you ready for the next name?
Yep. The next name is Gretchen Morrison. I can say that one just fine. Gretchen Morrison, are you with us tonight?
Give us a shout out in the chat. You got 1 minute, or you can email lauren@sidewalkadvocates.org. You must be hilarious. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna get somebody here. I know we're gonna get somebody here. Okay. We'll see. Let me go ahead and thank a couple people and we'll loop back around and see if Gretchen is with us. So I want to thank Carlene F. for her gift tonight. Carlene, thank you so much for supporting this great work by God's grace. And Rena L., your gift came through. Huge blessing. Thank you so much for that. And again, while we're waiting here, don't forget that your gift given tonight is instantly doubled. Click on offers, click on make a gift. We need gifts of all sizes. We need a gift of 25,000, 10,000, 5,000, 2,000, 500, 20, 10. We need gifts of all sizes in order to make this match. And so if that's you, if the Lord has put it on your heart to partner with us tonight to ensure that no abortion facility in this country is uncovered, we could use your support. We want to make this match and not leave any of this generosity sitting on the table, right? So, and we'll thank some more people here in just a bit. Let's go on to the next.
I have the next name. Okay, the next name is Lynn Marie Carey. Lynn Marie Carey, are you with us tonight?
Ooh, I think she was. I think she gave earlier. Thought I saw her name.
Lynn Marie Carey,
are you here? Go ahead and give us a comment. She's probably screaming in the background. Let's see. Kailua Kona, Hawaii. Come on, folks.
She's here. Yay!
We got somebody. Congratulations, Lynn Marie.
Awesome.
How exciting. Congratulations. So be sure to email us, lauren@sidewalkadvocates.org, right, is the magic email address. I'll go ahead and put that in the chat. Send us an email, okay? And we're going to make sure to get that 4-night stay in Kailua Kona, Hawaii to you. You got to fly there, but then you got a gorgeous place to stay. We're so excited. And the leader who provided that wonderful gift, we thank you so much for offering that tonight so that we could announce that on the webcast. Nate, this has been a phenomenal evening. I'm so grateful. There's somebody else I want to thank real quick before we close out. Patrick G., thank you so much for your gift tonight. And all of you, don't forget that every gift made tonight is instantly doubled from tonight until December 13th. That's the first deadline here in the matching fund, $437,500 matching fund, the largest in ministry history. Let's go cover more of these abortion facilities. We know how effective it is. It's saving lives. It's ending abortion. We're so, so grateful. So thank you all so much for joining us this evening. If you have any questions, be sure to drop us a line. We are so grateful that you were with us this evening. Onward and upward, right, Nate?
That's right. Thanks so much, everybody. What a great evening.
Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.